Mark Meirowitz, a political analyst and professor of constitutional law and American policy at the State University of New York Maritime College. He joins us live from New York. Mark, thank you very much for your time. Now, the US Appeals Court has allowed Trump to post a smaller bond of $175 million, as we've been hearing there, within 10 days. He's been handed a lifeline here, Mark, hasn't he? And not for the first time.
Whenever you think Donald Trump is down and out, he finds a way out. And once again, that happened, as you reported. This $454 million bond was reduced to $175 million. That is a very, very big concession and reduction, but he needs to post it within 10 days. And the problem here, to be very candid about it, is even if they try to seize the assets, what are the assets? Well, leases for buildings, ownership of buildings. And it is reported that they have about 500 different corporations that hold these assets. They've separated out the corporations, as is done in standard corporate procedure, to keep the companies insulated from each other. And interestingly enough, many of those companies have lenders. Many of the buildings have lenders. Actually, years ago, when I was a lawyer in a law firm, and I worked at 40 Wall Street, which is one of the Trump buildings. I mean, that building has leases with tenants. So think about this. Even if they went after the assets, this would be an incredibly difficult undertaking to identify the assets and to seize the assets. So, for example, in one of the buildings, which have lenders of hundreds of millions of dollars, they come and try to seize the assets and they end up with just almost nothing. So this reminds me very carefully of the proverb. Maybe it's a Turkish proverb. Be careful what you wish for. And if they win this and get the seizing of the assets, how are they going to actually do that? And I think that will be a formidably difficult undertaking by the Attorney General.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I mean, this is a much more affordable amount of money for Trump. Just how welcome is this news to the former US president, especially given that he was finding it almost impossible to find a company willing to act as a guarantor for the previous sum? What would have been the potential repercussions if Trump had failed to come up with the money?
Now, first of all, we don't really know how much money Trump has, number one. Number two is he's got 10 days to pull this together. He had another bond, which he posted in his defamation case for $91 million. Now, he claims he has hundreds of millions of dollars. So I don't think the story is over. I think this is a big help because I don't think he had enough assets to pull together the bond for the $454 million. The question is, will he be able to come up with the additional $175 million? So that is not necessarily the end of the story. And as you reported, he has a number of other lawsuits pending that are all coming to fruition, except I would say that the point here on Trump's strategy is to try to delay everything as much as possible to get it closer and closer to the American election in November 2024. Because the closer he gets to it, the more the argument has weight that says, well, I'm the Republican candidate for president. I really can't focus on lawsuits. I need to campaign. And if you don't let me campaign, well, then that's sort of interfering with my ability to be in this election. And that is exactly what you see. Appeals in Georgia, appeals here. And other legal proceedings. Yes, he has the criminal case, as you reported, coming on April 15th in the hush money case. So he's got a lot of moving targets, but he's playing a complicated chess game. And that chess game so far, and as you reported, he had the bond reduced to $175 million. That is a tremendous, tremendous achievement. But appellate division, appeals courts here, very often reduce judgments and things and high, amounts, reduce it down and giving him time. But they're only giving him 10 days to do it. So he's still under pressure, but he's in a much better position than he was earlier today, I think.
Indeed. And speaking of being in much better positions, just quickly, if you will, please, so I don't get shouted at, Mark. The new date for this hush money criminal case is now set for April the 15th. Why is the date in this one so significant?
Well, I believe this is the first president ever to be criminally tried in a criminal case ever. I mean, yeah. So why is it important? Yeah, it's very, very important. Although, again, all these cases have complexities to them that will allow Trump to appeal and also make the argument that he's running for office. So yes, this is a big step on the part of the New York District Attorney to bring a criminal case against a former president. That is an incredible, incredible development in American politics. So here you have a president who was impeached twice but not convicted, has numerous cases pending, running for president as the Republican candidate. Honestly, I don't think you can make this up. It sounds like it's the function of literature or fiction, but it's actually real, which is quite incredible. But with Trump, that's how we just have to be accustomed to extraordinary developments.
Mark, great chatting to you. Mark Meirowitz, live for us there from New York.